Right, good morning. It's day 7 of my life since cancer diagnosis. In September 2024, I was diagnosed with lymphatic cancer. That was 7 days ago. I've been out of hospital for 7 days. It's great. They diagnosed me and then chucked me out. What their plan was to send me home to see if I could survive, with strict instructions that if I was to feel like I was dying, I was to get myself back to hospital. But I'm doing okay. It's given me a week to get things organised. Sorry, it's very cold in here. It's 6:30 in the morning and it's pretty chilly. So I'm wrapped up warm. I'm sore. I'm having a shit night's sleep every night because my chest and my back are so sore. But being home has given me a chance to start getting things organised. I've done so much. I've got my life to organise. I've got my future to organise. I've got my anti-cancer protocol to organise. There's so much work to do. I'm going to try and work through it logically. One of the first things I want to tell you about is don't rely on the health system. This is our local newspaper that came out yesterday, and it's got a story about the hospital where I was staying, about how chronically understaffed they are. That's because so many registered doctors and registered nurses were struck off and lost their practicing licenses during the episode of 2020 to 2023. I'm not even going to mention what that was because I really don't want to risk losing these videos to YouTube's community standards. So anyway, this young nurse is the union delegate for the registered nurses, and she's busy saying how happy she is that they have got 12 new nurses, but they actually need 22 new nurses. I can vouch for that firsthand. I was there for 3 days. I saw it. I saw the dramas they were having, the problems. It's sad. It's really, really sad. Anyway, that's number one. Number two is, now that I've got cancer, what am I doing about it? Well, these people with the stethoscopes and the white coats, they want to put me on chemo and radiation. That's all they have. But through doing a little bit of proper research, I don't mean Googling, I mean real research, where you actually find the names of the websites that are going to be able to help you, and you go there and you read the information, not just reading a snippet that gets taken by Bill Gates's algorithms and turned into listings of possible things that they want you to be interested in. You've got to get away from Google for a start. Google only gives you what they want you to see. I've been using a different privately owned search engine, and it's been giving me completely different results to what Google will give you. I've done the experiments. There's no point in me spending time on a video showing you that, but just trust me. Get away from Google. Start using other privately owned search engines that aren't pushing advertising, because that's what Google's for. It's to drive advertisers to you and to drive you to advertisers. Right, what am I doing? I've bought 4 packets of... Oh, this is going to hurt. Hang on. I've bought 4 packets of Essiac tea. You can only see 3 because the first one's been made up. It makes a gallon of tea, which is enough for a week. And I've got that in a sealed jar, and I'm now drinking 3 cups of that a day. It tastes really nice. It's made from burdock, Turkish rhubarb, slippery elm bark, and sheep sorrel. 4 very old herbs that are well known individually for their cleansing properties, for cleansing the blood and cleansing the kidneys. Put together in a specific ratio, there is lots and lots of empirical evidence that they are working. What is empirical evidence? Well, empirical evidence is evidence that's been discovered by real people and shared amongst themselves. It's not scientific research, it's real people helping each other. So, I'm not even going to tell you why I'm drinking it, but I'm drinking it and I'm enjoying it. Another thing I'm doing is I'm drinking a concoction every morning. I'm drinking the juice of 2 lemons with half a teaspoon of bicarbonate of soda. Once again, on YouTube, I'm not allowed to tell you why I'm doing it. I'm just going to recommend that you do your own research, that you stop using Google, that you use reputable search engines that can help you find answers. It's got an interesting taste. It's fizzy, it makes me burp. But once again, cleansing, freeing up, loosening, getting things moving. Oh, most importantly, I did forget to tell you the type of cancer I've got. I've got lymphatic cancer. The lymphatic system runs all throughout the body. It runs alongside the circulation system. All your veins, arteries and capillaries sharing space with lymphatic ducts and lymphatic lymph nodes and lymphatic capillaries. And what they do is they remove the toxins from the blood. Now, if they get overstressed and stop working, then the toxins stay in the blood and the lymphatic system becomes a sewage system. It just recirculates the poisons. And that's what's happened to me. That's why I'm so sick, and that's why I'm so sick all over. I've got no energy, I'm hurting, and I've been like this on and off for 2 to 2.5 years. I've kept pinning it down to other things, and I've kept getting it wrong with the help of the medical establishment. The last time I got really, really sick, the medical establishment didn't decide what it was. They just decided that to get rid of the symptoms, I needed a course of antibiotics, which they gave me. That was 10 days. It did no good. So they tried me on a course of other antibiotics for 10 days. Also, the effect was minimal. So they tried me on a third. By this stage, I'd spent a total of, I think, $320 on going to the doctor, and I was getting no better. So I gave up on them, came home, and started just looking after myself. I've always eaten in a pretty exemplary fashion. I don't fill myself with rubbish. I'm not a donut and beer kind of a guy. I will have maybe a 6-pack of beer a year. And when I buy them, I don't consume them all in one day. I'll buy a 6-pack of beer and maybe drink one, and they'll hang around for the next 6 months. I've got a friend who was leaving the area, and I was invited to go round and have dinner with them, and that was that was March. So since March, I've had a dozen of beer sitting in the kitchen, and it's still there. I think I've drunk about 3 bottles since March. Anyway, so not much alcohol, not a lot of sugar, very little processed food. I take pride in feeding myself from my garden. Most of the food that I eat, I either grow myself, or I know the people who've grown it, or I know the dude who shot the deer, or I know the guy who has the hives that the honey came from, or I know the guy that makes the cheese. I'm in with this crowd, so I'm not eating Starbucks, Uncle's, Denny's, Big Macs, any of that kind of rubbish. So it's a little bit of a surprise to me that this has come. But like latest statistics do say, in America, I know this isn't America, but in America, 1 in 2 males over 50 are getting cancer, and 1 in 3 females over 50 are getting types of cancer. Now, the one I've got is not particularly rare and exciting. Lymphatic cancer is one of the most common, boring ones that people get. There's about 6 different types of lymphatic cancer. They haven't decided yet which one I've got or at what stage it is. They want me to get a biopsy into one of my lymph nodes. The easiest one to access is under the arm here. There's a cluster of them. And they want to go in and get a biopsy, and they want to do protein counts. Now they've done, cell counts. That'll give them the information to be able to come into my room, sit on a chair, lower their voice, lean forward and earnestly say, "You've got X amount of time to live." Yeah, because that's how it operates. I don't really want to wait around for that, so I'm taking the initiative to do things now. The Isiac tea, the baking soda and lemon juice, and the most exciting thing that I'm starting today is the horse paste. I've got 2 syringes of horse paste. I've researched the dose. I've set the dose. You're going to watch my first dose of horse paste. I have to take this much, which equates to a knob the size of a pea that comes out of the end when I press this. And this is normally given to horses in far larger quantities because they're far larger animals, but I'm going to have this daily, first thing in the morning on an empty stomach, and people say that it makes a difference after just 4 days. Well, here goes day 1. Let's see what I get. That's my first dose. Let's put it in. It doesn't smell particularly brilliant. It smells a little bit like No More Gaps, the stuff that you put into joins when you're about to paint a wall but you want it to look nice before you do it. Honestly, it does. It smells like a handyman's filler. But I'm going to knock this back. Oh, it tastes disgusting. It's disguised with a sort of an apple taste. Oh, it's gross. But that can be put away till tomorrow now. And I'll be doing that each day. What else do you need to know? I've been gathering together trusted friends because this may turn out for the worst at pretty quick notice. I've got 2 or 3 friends lined up to complete 2 or 3 specific tasks should they be required. I've rung my suppliers that I use for the mushrooms and things like that, because you've got ongoing supplies of requirements for growing mushrooms, and I've halted delivery of those for now because I'm not well enough to lift and carry and push and shove. Excuse me. I've got friends helping me with jobs that have to be done, like doing my dishes, just general tidying up around here, and doing a little bit of gardening just so I can keep on top of things. And we'll just see how that goes. But financially, I'm being very careful not to spend any money at all, because who knows how much money I might suddenly have to put up to pay for treatment or accommodation or travel or whatever, who knows. So hanging on to my pennies, staying warm, staying inside, looking after myself, and hopefully after a few videos you're going to see a benefit. But right now I want to describe what's going on. I've got a general feeling of lethargy over my whole body. This all started with an incredible pain right here that I mistook for a heart attack. So last Thursday, it's Thursday today, it's now 1 week since my diagnosis, and that diagnosis started off with me getting myself into hospital quick smart because I thought I was having a heart attack. I got this massive pain in my chest that was radiating out into my shoulders and arms, and from what I'd read, it was one of the early warning signs of a heart attack. Heart attacks normally don't come on all of a sudden, unless you're an athlete and you're out there on the field really pushing yourself. Heart attacks in many cases sneak up on people. They start with early warning signs that people don't realise. A pain in the side of a neck, an earache or a headache in one side, shoulder ache, difficulty in reaching out for things. Those are all early warning signs. I've had plenty of those early warning signs because I'm hard on my body. There's numerous times when I've pulled muscles and strained ligaments and done things like that, but this happened at about 5 a.m. in the morning, just as I was deciding it was time for me to get up. I sort of was lying on my back. I was quite happy from memory, but I pulled my elbows up and went to lift my body to get out of bed, and just had this insane pain, and that was the start of it all. So I moped around for a few hours until I decided that it wasn't going away, and then got myself down to the local St John's ambulance depot, where they plugged me into some of their machinery and started giving me the tests. They pronounced that my heartbeat, my blood pressure, my pulse rate, my blood oxygenation was all pretty good. So I took the gamble and I decided to drive myself 40 k's to the local hospital, which I did, and I still had a 4-hour wait, but after 4 hours I got seen by a doctor, and she decided that it was worthy of getting scans and x-rays, and that's when they discovered the swollen lymph nodes, and the blood tests came back and they found the proteins in the blood which showed that the muck wasn't getting cleared out of my body. So then the journey started. That was it. 3 days in hospital, more tests, more waiting, then getting home, and now 7 days of getting my life in order. So alright, that's it for the first update. I'm off now.